You're standing in a furniture store on a Saturday afternoon. You came in just to look, maybe get some ideas. But then you see it. The couch you've been wanting for 6 months. The salesperson walks over with a smile and says the magic words, 0% financing for 18 months. And just like that, something shifts in your chest. It doesn't feel like spending money anymore. It feels like permission. Most Americans make this exact decision dozens of times throughout their lives. A new phone on a payment plan, a Peloton bike split across 24 months, a mattress, a washer and dryer, even a dental procedure, all available with 0% interest if you qualify. And the pitch always sounds the same. Why pay all at once when you can spread it out for free? It seems perfectly logical. You're not being charged extra. The math appears to work in your favor, so you sign the form, take the thing home, and feel like you just played the system. Here's what actually happens in your brain the moment you hear 0% APR. Your mind stops treating the purchase like a purchase. Instead, it starts treating it like a monthly subscription. $39 a month doesn't register the same way that $700 does, even though they're the same amount of money. This isn't about being bad at math. It's about how your brain processes immediate pain versus distributed pain. Psychologists call this payment decoupling, when you separate the joy of getting something from the pain of paying for it. And 0% financing is designed to exploit that gap as wide as possible. Think about how you feel when you buy something outright with cash or even a debit card. There's a little sting, right? A moment of hesitation before you swipe. That sting is actually protective. It's your brain doing a quick cost-benefit analysis, asking if this thing is really worth what you're about to give up. But when you finance something at 0%, that sting disappears. You're not handing over money today. You're just agreeing to a small number that will quietly leave your account every month. The pain gets diffused across time, and your brain interprets that as almost no pain at all. So you say yes. And here's where the hidden cost starts to accumulate. And it's not the kind of cost that shows up on a bill. It's the cost of mental bandwidth. Every financing agreement you enter becomes a background process running in your mind. You have to remember the payment date. You have to make sure there's enough in your account. You have to track when the promotional period ends, because if you miss that final payment, the interest hits you retroactively in some agreements. Even if you're organized and never miss a payment, you're still carrying the cognitive load of managing that obligation. And when you have 3, 4, 5 of these agreements running at once, which is common, your financial life starts to feel like a subscription service you can't fully control. Let's talk real numbers for a second. Say you finance a couch for $1,500 over 18 months at 0%. That's $83 a month. Totally manageable. But 6 months later, you need new tires. $400, 12 months, 0%. That's another $33 a month. Then your laptop dies. $1,000, 24 months, 0%. $42 a month. Now you're at $158 a month in payments that feel like nothing individually, but together represent a meaningful chunk of your monthly cash flow. And because none of these felt like big purchases at the time, you didn't really account for how they'd stack up. You just saw small monthly numbers. The invisible cost isn't just mental clutter, it's the opportunity cost of that cash flow. $158 a month is almost $1,900 a year. That's money that could have gone into an emergency fund, or paid down higher interest debt, or been invested. But instead, it's locked into objects you already own, flowing out of your account every month like a lease payment on your own stuff. And here's the really strange part. You feel poorer than you did before you got the things, even though you have more things. Because your discretionary income has shrunk, and the sensation of financial freedom has shrunk with it. Now, you might be thinking, but I'm disciplined. I keep track. I never miss payments. And that's probably true. This isn't about discipline. Smart, financially responsible people fall into this trap all the time. And here's why. Intelligence doesn't protect you from the way offers are framed. When something is presented as zero cost, no interest, no fees, just split the payments, your brain treats it as a fundamentally different category of decision than a purchase. It feels more like logistics than spending. And if you're someone who's good with money, you might even feel a little proud of yourself for taking advantage of the deal. You're being strategic, right? You're using their money for free. But the companies offering 0% financing aren't losing money on these deals. They're making money, and not just from the percentage of people who miss payments and get hit with interest. They're making money because 0% financing increases the likelihood that you'll buy in the first place, and that you'll buy something more expensive than you originally planned. Studies on consumer behavior show that when payment plans are available, people upgrade. They don't just buy the couch, they buy the nicer couch. They don't get the base model, they get the one with all the features. Because the monthly number still feels small, even though the total price went up by 30 or 40%. So what's the reframe here? It's not about never financing anything. It's about recognizing that 0% APR isn't free. It's a trade. You're trading future cash flow for immediate possession. And that trade might be worth it sometimes, but only if you're making the decision with your eyes open. The shift is to stop thinking in terms of monthly payments and start thinking in terms of total cost and total commitment. Before you agree to any financing, ask yourself, if I had to pay for this in full today, would I still buy it? And if not, why does breaking it into payments change that answer? Because here's the thing. If you wouldn't buy it outright, the financing isn't making it more affordable. It's making it more palatable. And those are two very different things. Affordable means it fits into your financial reality without strain. Palatable means it's been repackaged in a way that quiets your hesitation. The couch costs the same either way. The only thing that changes is how much it hurts to say yes. This isn't about guilt or deprivation. You're allowed to want things. You're allowed to buy things. But when you remove the friction from spending, you also remove the natural check that helps you figure out what you actually value. That little sting of paying isn't punishment, it's information. It tells you whether something is worth it. And when you bypass that information by spreading out the pain, you end up with a home full of stuff and a bank account that never seems to build momentum. Here's one small action you can take today. Look at your bank statement from last month and add up every payment that's going towards something you've already taken home. Phone payment plan, furniture financing, any installment that's tied to a possession you already have. Just add them up. Don't judge the number. Don't panic. Just see it clearly. Because once you see the total, you'll start to notice how much of your monthly income is already spoken for before you even make a single new decision. And that awareness alone changes how you think about the next 0% offer that comes your way. The reason this matters isn't because debt is bad, or because financing is some kind of moral failure. It matters because your brain is wired to prioritize the present over the future, and modern consumer financing is designed to exploit that wiring as efficiently as possible. Every 0% offer is a bet that you'll value having the thing today more than you'll value having the freedom tomorrow. And sometimes that bet is worth taking. But most of the time, if you're honest with yourself, the thing you actually want more than the couch, or the bike, or the gadget, is the feeling of not owing anyone anything, the feeling of your paycheck being yours. And you can't finance your way into that. 0% APR doesn't rewire your brain because it's complicated. It rewires your brain because it's easy, and easy decisions made over and over quietly shape the life you end up living. If this changed how you think about financing, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. And if you want more conversations like this, no hype, just honest breakdowns of how money actually works. Go ahead and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.